Stop the meal. Have you covered the right-wing reaction to Garland saying the DOJ will investigate the death threats to school board members over critical race theories? It's being framed as Garland promises to crack down on parents who protest CRT, which is absolutely bonkers. Well, there's a huge conflation right now between the idea of protest and the idea of an assault, right? I mean, like, can we maintain that there are different things here? Like, here is Martha McClellan with the Hoover Institute fellow Victor Davis Hanson. What else is that deal with Victor David Hanson? Let's play this clip.
Filming somebody without their permission in a bathroom, and then they followed her onto a flight under the jurisdiction of the Federal Aviation Committee and kind of hectored her in the past.
So is there an FBI investigation under that standard into who's been following Kyrsten Sinema onto a plane?
And there was no FBI investigation when they surrounded Rand Paul and his wife after the State of the Union and really almost endangered their safety. Nor when Jeff Flake was a senator. Remember in the Kavanaugh hearing, they trapped him in an elevator? And so I think people are saying the FBI has been weaponized in the way the Pentagon has been weaponized, the way the CIA, and there's kind of a revolt against these unaccountable appointees or lifetime bureaucrats that are exercising power as legislative, judicial, and executive all in one.
You know, I also think of Antifa. There was a question yesterday at this hearing about whether or not Antifa is also being investigated because, everyone can protest in this country. Antifa has a right to protest. These parents have a right to protest. You don't have a right to burn down buildings. You don't have a right to endanger people's lives. Yeah. But the Department of Justice has to be consistent. And I go back to when Merrick Garland was nominated by President Obama for the Supreme Court. And it was this, huge dispute because Republicans denied him a hearing, which is a separate issue. But he was presented as this person who was so unpolitical, so middle of the road, right? Yeah. And that it was egregious to not give him that hearing because he was such an even-handed jurisprudence advocate. Yeah. But so now I'm just wondering, where are the other commensurate investigations that would also fall into the same category?
They're not there. He was never.
There's a couple of things that people should remember. One is, there was absolutely no threat whatsoever issued or I think even implied by the people who were reading off these written statements about their immigrant status.
The threat was, we're going to try to replace you with a different representative next time.
They didn't even say that much. And the woman on the airplane was being so polite that the stewardess was like, did you get everything you needed? Are you looking for peanuts? But I mean, put aside that aspect of it. You don't think that people who were in any way protesting or violent during any of these, over the summer, were visited by cops, were arrested by cops? What, excuse me? The DOJ didn't have to do anything.
Were swooped in on by U.S. Marshals?
Because had they tried, they would have had to fight their way through 4 different layers of cops to get to those people. And this is, let's be clear, the Department of Justice is going in and doing this because this is also probably a function of race. I think that everyone understands that when you're accusing people of pushing critical race theory in an elementary school or a junior high or wherever it's supposed to be, when clearly that's not happening, it's just people are discussing racism or race or the Civil War. The DOJ wants to step in because they're noticing that maybe the states are not doing anything. There's an absence of anybody standing up for these people not to get harassed on what ultimately is racial grounds, right? But it really is fascinating. And it's a good example of what Garland should be doing, not less of, but more of. Make Martha McClellan have to spend her entire show talking about the different investigations that the DOJ is up to. That's what I think. There's plenty of stuff to investigate.